friends. I'm your host, Erin Port, and welcome to the Simple Purposeful Living podcast. Life can be overwhelming and busy, so once a week, I invite you to join me, and together we will make simple tweaks to uncomplicate the hard parts of our life so we can spend more time doing what we love. Well, we are officially or unofficially kicking off the holiday season today, and I know some of you aren't ready, but ready or not, here it comes. And as we head into this time of year, I've been thinking a lot about gratitude. You know, I'm always thinking about gratitude, but also helping our kids cultivate a heart of gratitude. And how do we do that in today's culture? I love a good visual reminder because it's a simple but powerful way to help us follow through on habits of things that matter to us, those tiny habits, in this case, a habit of thankfulness. So when my assistant first talked to me about turkey on the table, I thought, that is genius. It's such a fun and simple way to get our families thinking about gratitude in a hands-on way. So I'm excited because the founders of Turkey on the Table are joining me today. We're going to talk about what inspired them, how this helps us to cultivate a heart of gratitude in our home. And so I'm just so excited to welcome Kerry and April to the show. Welcome.
Hi.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so can you introduce yourselves and share how Turkey on the Table was born and what in your own lives or family traditions inspired this?
Sure. My name is Kerry and I met April when we were raising our kids together in preschool. We actually met at church, and we basically both realized that our favorite holiday was Thanksgiving. And we kind of bonded over many, many different things, but through walks and talks and after kids' drop-offs, we kind of thought we really were growing up in a different way than our kids were growing up a different way than we had, and we were looking for ways to instill gratitude. And we loved the idea of tying it to the month of November and Thanksgiving because Thanksgiving was our mutual favorite holiday. And also, you know, Halloween, they get candy, they're dressed up, then it goes straight into other holidays where there's gifting and all this. And Thanksgiving is the one holiday where you're just with friends and family and food, and there's no expectations, there's no gift giving. It's just being thankful for what you have.
Mm. What about you,
Yeah,
April?
everything that Carrie said. And then we just noticed, like she said, our kids were in preschool and they would come home with like a little construction paper turkey with feathers on it, or, all the different variations that you might see on Pinterest, all the homemade Thanksgiving decorations, and on how to show how, grateful you are, things that you have to be grateful for. And we just kind of had the idea like, gosh, there's nothing out there on the market that you could actually buy that's a cute home decor piece that's for the whole family. So we just were like, I wonder if we could do this, So here we are, 11 years later, with
Oh,
turkey on the table. So yeah, we made it happen, and it's been a great run.
that is incredible. And I just have so many questions as a product business myself. Like, how do you go from an idea to turkey on the table? But maybe we'll get to that. But you talk a lot about like you guys met in the parking lot at preschool. I'm envisioning my own preschool conversations. I mean, that is a powerful time for moms for connection, isn't it?
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
why do you think it's so important in today's culture to instill in our kids a heart of gratitude?
Well, April and I really started to dig into that when we kind of came up with the idea and thought about marrying Thanksgiving as a month of practicing gratitude as like a small step for families to
Mhm.
start. And we were just blown away when we started to do research on gratitude, how many physical and emotional benefits gratitude has. And there have been many studies done, and it improves emotional health, it improves physical health, it makes them have more self-confidence. It's
Mhm.
been scientifically proven to overall improve their resilience.
Mhm.
So when we were digging into this, we're like, wow, this is actually a very important skill to have. And it's been proven time and time again. So that's kind of what continued to push us to kind of try we started with our kids almost 13 years ago when we were coming up with the ideas, doing every day and little prototypes that we had. And then when we launched, obviously it was 11 years ago, but we were really pushed by all the gratitude benefits and how many ways it helps in life.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And it's so funny because we
Yes,
think
it's
about it as
actually,
adults. Oh, no, that's fine. Go ahead.
I was just going to add on to Carrie, it's actually been shown to rewire your brain, the
Mm,
practice of gratitude. And I think that's just such a strong data point. Like you can actually really change the way your brain thinks once you just get in that habit of all the things you have to be grateful for instead of focusing on the things that you don't have, you know. So it's very powerful. But
And I was just thinking, you said something, Carrie, that it's a small step. And oftentimes, when it comes to things like gratitude, this huge, monumental, like, okay, it can make such a big difference, but where do I start, right? And as moms, we want it to be perfect and just right. So I love what you said, a small step. So talk me practically through how does turkey on the table work? Can you explain that to us?
Sure. April, do you want to kick it
sure.
off?
Yeah, so we thought it would be great to, like Carrie said, do a whole month of gratitude for November. So the turkey starts, you know, just as the cute little styrofoam kind of stuffed turkey looking thing standing on your kitchen counter or wherever you might have it. And it comes with a set of paper feathers, kind of cardstock designer feathers. And the thought is that every day of November, that everyone in the family will take one feather and share it and write something that they're grateful for, and then add it to his tail. There are little clips in the back of the turkey that hold the feathers. And so as the days go on, then his tail grows, you know, he fills with thanks. And so you can just kind of see it as you know, see kind of blossom as the month goes by, and you keep it out where everyone can see it, and it's just such a great reminder as the month goes on, just to see, gosh, you know, we do have a lot to
Mm,
be grateful for. It just, I don't know, it's just so heartwarming. It's been heartwarming for us and our friends and family, and all the notes that we get on social media, and you know, it's just been a fun thing, but that's how it works. So by Thanksgiving Day, he's full of thanks, and then you can go around the table and talk about what everybody wrote, and it's a really meaningful conversation starter.
mm,
And then it also comes with a storybook that kind of talks about how to do it in a really cute way for kids. Just saying it's all about what's in your heart, and that's all you need. And so you already have the tools to you already have what it takes to
mm.
be grateful. So that's turkey on the table.
And I love that you said we're doing it as a family because I'm a firm believer we should never ask our kids to do something that we won't do ourselves, right? We model what we want them to do. And so I think it's really cool that you've invited the whole family into the process. And like you said, every day, the little things, because oftentimes I think people think of gratitude as I'm so grateful for my health or my home, but really getting into a granular basis and helping not only ourselves, but our kids to be like, no, I'm really grateful for this thing, like a working umbrella on a raining day, or,
Mhm. Right.
a fun snack mom picked up for me at Costco or whatever it is. I think that that's so important. Okay, so talk to me because I'm really passionate. I am adoptive mom. We adopted a little guy at 25 months, and he was just 19 pounds, came home severely malnourished. So I know the impact of malnourishment on kids, but you're really passionate about partnering with Feeding America. So talk to us about how that partnership started and why you guys are so passionate about it.
Well, when we launched Turkey on the Table, it was important to us to start this trend of gratitude in families, but it was also important to us to give back. And at the time, we were both stay-at-home moms, and we knew that when we did something, we wanted it to be meaningful in multiple ways, and giving back was part of that. And so our dream was to partner with Feeding America. They are affiliated with over 200 food banks around the country. Probably one is right close to everyone's home within driving distance. And they were kind of our end goal of getting there. And at the very beginning, when we were launching, we were lucky enough to get a meeting with them. And they had all these rules for corporate sponsors and corporate partnerships, which we did not meet any of their requirements. But we talked to them about what we were trying to do, and Feeding America partnered with us before we sold our very first turkey. And they just believed in the idea and the love and what we were trying to do with it. So we've been a Feeding America partner from the beginning. And, a lot of people don't realize how many, there, 1 in 5 children in this country are food insecure. And with the cost of groceries, it's only getting worse. And it's 47 million Americans are hungry, which you wouldn't think in this country we would have issues with that. So for us, we're definitely, it's a donation goes for every turkey sold. We also sell specific feathers that donate meals. And we just feel really proud to be able to talk about that because I think some people know that there are food banks, but rescuing food, they do it in a very efficient way. They are able to take food that otherwise might not make it, but they have a safe and efficient way to get food out to all these food banks and get them in people's houses. So, yeah, so we've donated over 1.8 million meals since we started. So not only do we feel good about, cultivating gratitude and having families sit down and start this practice together, but also knowing that when it sits on your table Thanksgiving Day, it represents meals that were donated to people that might not otherwise have them.
That is awesome. And like I said, it hits a personal note for us because we've seen the impact of a child who hasn't been able to been nourished properly, right? And like you said, when you say 1 in 5 kids in the United States struggles with food insecurity, man, doesn't that just remind us of how much we have to be grateful for?
Well, that, and I think a lot of people, and April and I did really tried to educate people when we started Turkey on the Table. A lot of people assume homelessness equals people
Mhm.
who need food, but it's people who will sit next to your kids at school. It's
Mhm.
people who, are working 2 jobs and they either pay their electricity or pay for groceries. So it's important for people to know that it isn't just people that are living on the streets. It's people who are in your backyard.
Very important note. Very important. Yes. Okay, so I have to ask you, after 11 years of turkeys on the table, do you have any sweet or funny stories that you can share with us about how turkey on the table has been a blessing?
I can think of a really sweet one. It was several years ago. But we at first, when we created Turkey on the Table, we thought it was mostly for moms with young children, and it was a great surprise to see all of the other people who were using it. And so someone on Facebook tagged us, and they worked at an assisted living home or a nursing home. I think it was in Rhode Island. And they did this long story about how they took the feathers around to all of the residents there. And, they had them write on a feather what they were grateful for. And it was just, all these obviously old people and just talking about all that they had to be grateful for. And here, a lot of them weren't in the best of health,
Mm,
and it was just so touching that they couldn't speak enough about all the things that they had to be grateful for. And it was just the sweetest story about going around to all the residents and how much joy it brought them. But then again, how excited they were to share and to write on their feathers. So the turkey just looked so cute with all these little handwritten things from the residents there. So that was probably the most heartwarming thing that I can remember, even though we have had lots of people share. Another thing that's just a broader story is just all of the people who say, gosh, we keep the feathers from all the previous years so we can look back on them to see, how the kids have grown and what's changed or whatever. But the people who are no longer with us
mm,
this year that might have been here last year or 2 years ago, family members, and what they wrote. And they're just like a really special keepsake
mm.
for the families to.
We always coin it as like a lazy mom scrapbooking. Like you can
Mm.
buy new feathers every year, and the intention when we came up with this was that it was reusable and you just replace the feathers each year. And we intentionally didn't do feathers that you rub off or something because each year when you take it out of the box, our hope was that the previous years the feathers would be in the bottom of the box and you could kind of look through who you shared Thanksgiving with or the kids' handwriting and how it changed and what things they were thankful for and how they changed through the years. So yeah, it's really special to us when we hear stories that people write in and thank us for developing it because it's touches them in some kind of way.
I love
Mhm.
all of these reasons. And like you said, just even your kids' handwriting, right? I am a sucker for their little handwriting and the way they spell things, right? I have a 16-year-old. He was 2 yesterday, I swear. And it just to be able to reflect back and be like, oh my gosh, I think that's so cool. And storing it with the turkey is genius. It's so simple, such a tiny tweak, but a way, like you said, to even reflect and be grateful for past Thanksgiving. So this is kind of transferable, not just a once, like you said, a once a year thing, but ongoing tradition. What a cool tradition to be a part of. Oh man. Anything else you'd like to share about turkey on the table and instilling gratitude? This has been so inspiring. I'm ready to go and be start this tradition with my family.
Honestly, I think just the fact that it's something that you get in the habit of doing year after year. I think when you start with young children and every morning they're writing it down, what you were saying about the granular level earlier, that's one of the things as, the person that developed it that I was surprised by is I saw some things that my kids wrote down that I would have never expected. And it actually is a great way of communicating without communicating. You're like, oh, I didn't know they love that so much
Mm,
because you do go beyond health and my, you know, basketball and my cozy bed and so you start to see, oh, that really meant something to them and I never would have known that if we hadn't been doing this exercise
mm.
because after 30 days they aren't able to do high level, they kind of dig in a little bit. So that's one of kind of the surprises that happened for me that I was thankful for is kind of getting to know the kids on a different level and it
Mm.
was kind of forced and
Mhm.
maybe for them with the parents too. You see what's meaningful and what's in their hearts without kind of forcing a conversation.
Yeah, I was thinking even because I have 4 kids, and sometimes dinner can be so practical, right? Like everybody sit down, everybody eat, all those sorts of things. But as a mom, it's so nice to be able to have that conversation starter. And like you said, learn something that maybe sometimes we hear about the bad things that happened of the day, or maybe even the weird thing that
Mhm.
happened, but the good things and how we can celebrate that together and it be a conversation starter, especially for maybe some kiddos who maybe be a little quieter or more reluctant to kind of enter their world and see what matters to them. And like you said, maybe then be more intentional as a parent about exposing them to those experiences because now you know it does matter to them.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
and the hope is that, after Thanksgiving's over, that the gratitude doesn't just stop, but it can continue at the dinner conversation, talk about obviously we're all going to have disappointments that come our way all the time, but then just learning to see the silver lining or just gaining perspective because that's what gratitude does, right? So just to keep that exercise going. The other months of the year is kind of the hope that we hope to hopefully use the turkey as your training wheels to get everything started with your kids, but then to continue throughout the year.
I love that. Use the turkey as your training wheels. That's so smart. I was thinking as you were talking too, the more that I always say we see what we look for, and the more that we can train our mind to look for it, like you said, while we're in the turkey training wheels phase, we're training our mind. I always tell my kids, um, we have a white SUV, and I never realized how many other people have a white SUV until we got a white SUV, right? It's that idea of we're seeing what we look for, and suddenly when you're looking for things to be grateful for, you're going to start to find them. And that is a powerful lesson to teach our kids from a very early age that no matter what day you're having, it might be a bumpy day, but there usually is something good to be found in every day.
Yeah, and honestly, I was surprised that my kids really seemed to enjoy it. I thought
Mm,
it was going to be kind of a chore, but once we started going, this is in the early days, I would put it out each morning when they came down to breakfast. One morning, I got busy, forgot to set it out like mid-November, and the kids are like, "Where's the feather?"
mm,
And I'm like, "Wow!" Like they're reminding me
Mhm.
like this is how we start every day in November. Like, where is it? So I feel like it is a great way to kind of get them on the train and practicing because they'll actually help you sometimes.
mhm. So true. I have teenagers now, and I said I get feedback all the time, but that's a good thing, right? It makes me better. Uh,
Yeah, exactly.
oh, so good. Oh my goodness, you guys. Okay, so tell us where we can find turkey on the table, so that we can start this tradition. Because my guess is now that you've been doing it for 11 years with your kids, longer since you had prototypes, I'm guessing come November 1st, people are gonna in your family are gonna start asking for that turkey and where he is, right?
Yes. So our website is turkeyonthetable.com, and that's where you can find the turkey, all of the assortment of the feather packs that you just buy for refills. So the you keep the turkey, it comes with a set of feathers, but then the hope is that you buy
Mm,
feathers for the subsequent years. And we, have a few other things on there, like a little holiday hat set. It's really cute. And I think I don't know, Carrie, one of my lists. Oh, a little craft kit for kids who maybe can't write yet on their feathers, but they can decorate some feathers. So we've got a little cute decorating craft kit on there also. We're
Yeah,
also available on Amazon. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. So yeah, either way.
yeah, if you need it quickly, our website sends out pretty quickly, but we also have Amazon Prime, so you can find us there. And yeah, I feel like getting it before November 1st is ideal, but some people just use it the night of Thanksgiving and have the extended family fill it out. We've had people who tell us that they keep a basket of feathers out and they have, when the kids have friends over, they have them fill it out so that they have all the people who visited their house during November. So people have kind of taken this and created their own iterations of what they like to do. Some people fill it up with their family the month of November and then take those aside and then redo it just with the extended family the night of.
Mhm.
So we love how people have taken it and kind of created their own um, practice with what works for them and what they like to do. So there's many different ways, and people have used it for friendsgivings. People have used it for neighbor gifts, like grateful to have you as my neighbor, teacher gifts. So we've been really excited about how people have adapted it as a practice, but also found ways to use it in other ways.
I was even thinking like a grandma for, their grandkids. I
Mhm.
also was thinking a hostess gift. If you're going to a Thanksgiving, what a great hostess gift, the gift of this tradition for the host and their family. And you said it comes with a book as well, or do we need to grab the book as well?
No, it comes with a book. It comes with the turkey, a set of feathers, a book, and a marker to write on the feathers. And then the donation to Feeding America is the icing on the cake.
Yes.
So yes, the book is super cute, very well written. Carrie wrote it, and Carrie and her sister. And yeah, it's great for all ages, of course. But yeah, so that's all in the Turkey on the Table kit. And then, like I said, the feathers are available for purchase to reuse it.
I think
And
this
like you said, for the hostess gift, it's also, I think, really great when you give them the gift and you put a little note on it, say, 10 meals were donated on your behalf. I think
Mhm.
people really love to know, like, a gift that they don't have to do anything that already gave back.
is.
Uh, I always feel good about that.
Mhm.
And maybe you can even add a feather that says why you're thankful for them. So you've started the tradition, maybe.
So cute.
Very
I
cute.
love it.
Yes.
I love this tiny tweak. I'm all about practical small steps that help us to be consistent with our values, right? And gratitude is one of those places that really holds a special place. Like you said, it has so many benefits, but oftentimes the perfect, right, trying to get it all perfect out of the gate is hard. And so finding a product that can help us to be intentional is key. And I think turkey on the table is that. And it just makes me excited to kick off the holiday season, right? With all of this other stuff, consumerism and all the other things, kind of grounding us back to what really matters and will really make an impact, not only on us, but our kids and our family. So thank you for what you do, for giving back to Feeding America, for creating this great product to help us to be more intentional. Your work is so valuable, and I appreciate you.
Oh,
Oh,
thank
thank you.
you.
Okay, so I finish every podcast episode with this question for my guests, and I primed you, so hopefully you have a little something. But
Mhm.
speaking of tiny tweaks, little changes that make life easier, what's a tiny tweak that you've made recently that's made life or your family's life a little bit easier or lighter?
I can start. And yes, I saw that, and I have something that's fairly random, but has saved me a lot of headaches. So I thought I would share it. I have three boys and always had a problem with socks in my house,
Hmm.
athletic socks. Some people like the lower socks, some people like the ankle socks, some people need soccer socks, and forever late for school because they're looking for socks. So I found out that sometimes that one has heavy in one department, and so I created a community sock bin in our mudroom, and all the boys share socks. There's no one has their own socks anymore. They're all in the community sock bin as they're walking out the door. If they get it when the laundry's just been done, they get their pick of the litter. But like otherwise, they're all there. So you grab what you get and you go with it. So that's something that has it's not necessarily a recent change, but it's a change that I feel like my kids are like, no one else has a community sock bin. I'm like, well, it works for us. And it's right on the way out the door. So it's the last thing they do.
I love that. And that's why I always ask because these are like the genius mom hacks. Some listeners like tell your boys they're going to be a lot more sock community sock bins after this.
I know. I love her hack. It's very creative. Good job, Carrie.
Oh,
Mine's not as mind-blowing, but I have two girls, and we knew we were moving to a different house soon that had an upstairs where we did not have before. So we were converting an upstairs closet into a mini laundry room with a stackable washer and dryer. So before we moved, I taught them at ages 8 and 11 how to do their own laundry. So I wouldn't have to do two floors of laundry. So it's really worked out great. I said, I'm happy to help with anything. I will help you if any questions or if you get behind or whatever. But um, it's, I just don't do their laundry anymore. So it takes a load off of me. No pun intended. But it's been great. They are very responsible with all of their laundry upstairs. I don't even bother with it anymore.
I think that that is sometimes the permission slip one mom, you,
Mhm.
April, is giving to another mom and saying, you know what? I don't
They
do
can
their
do it.
laundry. Yes.
They can do it. And mom spends a ton of time
Mhm.
on everyone's laundry. So it's been a definite time saver.
We are transitioning over here, and my husband was just teaching my 10-year-old the other day how to do it. And it's
Hmm.
funny because did you find when you did it how much pride they got in it? My 10-year-old was so proud of herself.
Yes.
I thought, here I was thinking, ugh, I feel bad. I'm like, and she was like, I can do my own laundry.
Yeah.
Sometimes we
Yeah.
just
Like,
need
I
that
don't need your
perspective.
help.
Yes.
mhm.
Yes, I know. They really enjoy it. So there are no complaints. And now they're 18 and 15. So they've been doing it for a while, 6 or 7 years.
I
So
love
it's been
that.
great. It's just, yeah, one of those things that they can do, and it's been great.
And if their drawer looks like their drawer, that's okay, right? Done is better than none.
That is right.
Exactly.
Oh, well, friends, this was a delight. I am honored that you came on, and I'm so just excited and proud that you guys took this idea in the preschool parking lot. There's probably a listener right now that is talking with her friend in the preschool parking lot, and you took this idea and you have blessed so many families and filled so many tummies. So thank you for being here. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for the way that you're just lighting up the world with more gratitude. I truly believe gratitude can change the world.
Oh,
Well, thank you for having us.
thank you so much. This was a lot of fun.
It
I'll
was.
put everything in the show notes because y'all are going to want your very own turkey on the table and you're going to want to start the tradition now. If you liked this episode, it would mean so much if you'd share it with a friend or leave a quick rating and review so others can find our show. Until next time, you can find me at Simple Purposeful Living on Instagram and Facebook.